Welcome back to Sunny Morning program. It's 11:37 a.m. here at El Dorado Royal. And Mexico's NAFTA trade team, headed up by Ildefonso Guajardo, saw that they are pleased with the progress made at the 7th round of talks that took place last week in Mexico City. Elliot, have they made any progress at all?
Well, according to Ildefonso Guajardo, he's saying that the 7th round has been the most productive of all of the rounds of talks so far. They closed 3 more chapters, and they have another 6 pending to close. But there is a total of 35 chapters in all. So, I mean, the way things are going, yes, I mean, the chapters they've closed are very, very positive. I mean, phytosanitary measures, but they've got some really big measures coming up, and it's going to take a long while to get through. Digital commerce, telecommunications. I mean, to be fair, you know, there's a big political backdrop behind this between United States, Canada, and Mexico. If you compare where Mexico is right now in renegotiating its European Union bilateral trade agreement, they've almost finished it in about the same time. So if you were to say to me, have they made significant progress? I could say to you, if I was sitting in Donald Trump's seat right now, and I know what he's saying to Robert Lighthizer, the US trade representative, he's saying, if they don't get on with this, and if they don't get this out the door soon, I'm going to take this by the scruff of the neck, and we're going to unscramble scrambled eggs. He's losing patience, as we just said in the previous part. You know,
so Elliot, if you bring your psychic abilities, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, what's going to happen next? I really think that Trump is going to intervene here. I don't think, I mean, the next round is going to be in Washington, so it's kind of like it's on the home batting side in Washington right now with the political climate, what's in Washington right now in Capitol Hill. Trump is going to do whatever he can to shift the focus away from the Russia investigation, against the tariffs. You know what he's like. He'll send another bunch of tweets next week. They've actually got 5 weeks before round 8. But in the next 5 weeks, they say a day is a long time in politics. 5 weeks? Oh my goodness. I mean, this whole deal could be off the table by the way he's going.
Do you think his next move is going to be, he's going to send, I want you, the president of Germany, to resign?
I think he's going to be, he's going to be making a lot of phone calls.
Peru, please resign.
Do you remember that sketch they did on Saturday Night Live of, you know, Alec Baldwin? You all watch it, right? Saturday Night Live, he's got Alec Baldwin pretending to be Donald Trump and making phone calls to anybody in the world that will listen to him. Like,
I remember that.
Do you remember that one?
Yes,
he's got like, really, I think the Prime Minister or President of Uganda, and he's like, when did we last talk to them? You know, do they know me? And even he wouldn't take his phone call. So right now, I mean, he'd be very lucky to get hold of Angela Merkel because he's not in her good books. And he's also annoyed Theresa May in Great Britain. The British Prime Minister is furious with him about his rhetoric on the steel and aluminium. I mean, let's face it. I mean, it's a really dangerous plan what he's doing. And we just said, you know, markets are very skittish right now. And if he doesn't start listening and start taking advice on board, it's not just his advisors are going to be walking out. He's going to really alienate himself from global politics. I mean,
definitely, a lot of things are going to change globally, and as well, fortunately, a lot of the rest of the presidents, they are conscious about what's happening also, so they will know what to do. And actually, one of the presidents, and it's very admirable and recognized, is like pretty much the only president who can face him, which is President Putin from Russia.
Yeah.
Everybody else is kind of like trying to play politics, and maybe they should play a different role in politics with him, so to make Trump understand how to work in politics, because it's very different.
Well, he needs friends. I mean, if he wants to settle this North Korea debate, I mean, if he wants to get a meeting with Kim Jong-un in the near future, because, you know, talks are going on in South Korea right now for the first time historically, this is his chance to talk and get them around the table. But he's going to need China. He needs China right now to make that meeting happen and to have China in his camp. You know, they need them at first base, because that pressure, he's just announced another set of embargoes to wind North Korea up again. I mean, he's got a glimmer of opportunity, and then he goes and messes it up again
Exactly.
with another act of hostility. So
Exactly.
And now he's upset China over steel. I mean, what more can he do wrong as a politician, honestly?
Exactly.
So I think right now, definitely there needs to be a real examination within Capitol Hill of what they need to do before that next round of talks of NAFTA happens in the next 5 weeks. Where do they want to be on this whole deal? I think there are some big issues to be resolved. I mean, still the manufacturing of origin, of where vehicles are made. But come on, I mean, this deal was set up 25 years ago by Bill Clinton, and you know, it's worked great, I think, for all sides.
Yes,
Trump would argue differently, but you know, US jobs depend on NAFTA as it is.
Greed is one of another ingredient from him, because what he doesn't understand is that that original NAFTA agreement, it was because it established a win-win situation from the three countries. Now, the way he looks at things is that, okay, I want to make all the money, and you don't make money, and you, Mexico, forget about it.
Have you seen the book Who Stole My Cheese? Right?
Exactly.
It's like,
so I don't want to. He wants everything for himself, and a good way the new administration nowadays, the modern administration, says that if you make people make money, then you make more money. Even he can keep his own same great ingredient if he wants to, but if he actually helps someone, I mean, he doesn't have to help. Like, I want to help you to make money, because Mexicans will know what to do. Okay, so it's just a trade commercial agreement, so everybody really makes the best of it, or more of it, or the best. You know?
I mean, I think there's a part of it which I really like. What they're trying to do is they're trying to increase wage rates to make across the board wage rates very similar, because they're saying it's unfair that in Mexico we have such low wage rates that it's making it uncompetitive for US industry. But I think it would be music to our ears here in Mexico if they were to increase wage rates, the minimum wage rates in sectors like manufacturing. Of course, I mean, we all know. I mean, a Mexican engineer makes 1/10 of what an American engineer makes at Ford. So, I mean, I would love to see that come. You know, Mexico obviously has political economic reasons to maintain wage rates the way they are for the competition. But, you know, they are getting there. They're moving that agenda forward. And so I'd like to see in 5 weeks then that particular issue really put to bed. They were talking about having this sunset clause, you know, that to review NAFTA every 5 years in case, you know, Trump wants to throw his toys out of the pram again in 5 years' time and say, hey, let's just ditch NAFTA again. Okay, I mean, every 5 years, really? You want to go through this entire process again every 5 years? It's taking up a lot of time, but...
Or they could actually set up like a program, you know, like what are they going to review every 5 years? Like make it a target of it, like a goal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we start with these goals, these are the objectives for now, we work on them, and in 5 years, we're going to be able to review this and this and that, and we might switch this and that, or modify or something, but always with having on mind that it's for the best for the three countries that are involved.
Yeah. It's very clear that all three countries are well vested in these talks. I mean, there's no doubt about that. We're not taking anything away from that. And it's also very clear that, you know, from the Mexican point of view, they're very happy to stay in NAFTA, right? I mean, Mexico want to stay in this.
Exactly.
They're not going to be the party poopers, right?
No.
Not Mexico. I mean, we're not going to be the agua fiestas here, guys. So, I mean, we want things to continue. We want to make things right, I guess, here. It all depends now on Trump. So we'll be covering this in a lot more detail over the next few weeks. You'll hear more about this subject. We're going to go to a short commercial break. Join us after the break.